Welcome back to another edition of the Walkoff podcast, Mariners edition. I don't know why I said podcast. It sounded Bostonian. We can make it a Red Sox one for a while. That's fun.
Look, at least they're doing shit over there.
Hey, we got something done. It was a Christmas present. It was a Christmas Eve. It happened. Mitch Garver, 2 years, $12 million a year. How are we feeling on that?
You know, at 2 years, $12 million, I don't hate it, man. It's not necessarily the big splashy move we're hoping for that moves the needle, based off, losing guys like Kelenic and our right fielder and Teoscar Hernandez. It's a comparable bat, probably less strikeouts. And for the price, 2 year, 12 mil, based off the season he just had in Texas, I don't hate it, but there's got to be more.
Yeah, that's exactly my thing too. It's a fine move, but that can't be our biggest move of the offseason. If this were the same time last offseason, we'd be like, oh, that's sick. Great move. Good OBP guy. This isn't the guy, though. We need another dude in this lineup.
No. And it lengthens the lineup and it makes the lineup better for sure. But you lock two positions with signing Mitch Garver, right? Catcher and DH now is locked. They're just going to kind of bounce back and forth, is my understanding. Which is great. You got a guy that can hit and spell Cal behind the dish. So at $6 million a year, based off the budget restraints we keep hearing
12
about.
a year.
No, it's 2 years, $12 million total.
Oh, I thought it was 24 total.
I don't think so. Let me fact check this. We should know these things, right?
Nah, that's fine. That's why we got Google. We can just
so unprepared.
Yeah, it's 2 year, 24 million.
Oh, wow.
So annual salary of 12.
I hate it a little bit more than I did 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. So now what's your opinion on it?
Yeah, less optimistic towards it. Wow, that's we'll edit this part and say the bloopers. Season-ending bloopers.
That being said, though, the contracts that have been signed this offseason seem absolutely ridiculous. Like, you look at, it's not just that, not even the Shohei or all these other guys. Like, you look at, Jack Flaherty got double digits, Frankie Montas. Like, these guys are getting stupid amounts of money, and it kind of makes me really think that we need to trade one of these controllable starters if the price is this high.
Yeah, the value on these guys in the starting rotation is through the roof. And the closer they get to free agency, the less that value becomes. So, capitalizing on a guy like Logan Gilbert, that's a number 2 starter with tons of control. Those guys don't become available. And the only reason he's available with Seattle, in theory is available. They've come out and said they don't want to trade starting pitching, but the only reason it's even a topic of conversation is because of how deep this rotation is and how well they've drafted and built up their farm system as far as starting pitching goes. So it's cool, man. I think I just don't know who's out there that matches that value other than maybe like an Arozarena, something along those lines on like a 1-for-1 swap type thing, strength for strength.
Yeah, it's definitely like mind blowing how valuable these guys are, especially you look at yesterday's trade. There's no way I would have guessed that Chris Sale could bring in a Vaughn Grissom.
Yeah, man. They organizations are valuing starting pitching through the roof. Look at the contract Yoshi signed, never stepping foot on an MLB stadium before, getting 300 mil plus or whatever it was. There's tons of value in it. I think they're really, really holding on. It could be a spring training situation where an organization's number 1 or 2 starter goes down and, heaven forbid, it has to go through the TJ process and then starts looking for an arm because they're not ready to give up on their season. A team like Atlanta or, something along those lines. Maybe DePoto's just waiting until he can get better offers, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's such an unpredictable position. Like, guys can just disappear. One day you could have the best rotation. The next day you've got 2 guys injured and all of a sudden you're desperate. So there's a chance maybe he's just waited out. And once again, we've seen DePoto do weirder things out of nowhere. So we could wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden he's got one of the biggest trades ever.
Yeah, I mean, you just never know, right? We don't know what's out there. I don't think either of us thought for sale was going to be moved, especially with his health and the last two plus years that he's had in Boston. You never know who's available, man, until it comes out. There's obviously the free agents and the rumor mill, but there's always a couple of guys that nobody hears anything on.
Yeah. And yeah, Devoto seems like a wizard when it comes to making those deals happen. We didn't even know Kelnick was available the first time he acquired him.
True. That is true. That is, yeah. I mean, yeah, we're going to see. I can't even fathom who could potentially be available that he's targeting. I don't even know. Maybe they'll go after a guy like Vladimir Guerrero if the Blue Jays sign Bellinger.
We've seen him be creative. Have you discussed this one with Scott?
No, I don't think Scott would entertain that conversation.
He'd just hang up the phone on you.
I think he would hang up the phone. I mean, we could test it. I could call him right now and see what he thinks.
So the other thing, because we discussed this last podcast and it finally happened, we were discussing Jerry Dipoto's largest free agent hitter signing ever was $7 million. He's blown it out of the water. Do we think he does it again?
No, I don't. There's only a couple players left that I think are going to sign for more than 24 mil. Obviously, those top line guys like Bellinger. I don't see it happening personally. There's no history or track record to suggest that that's going to happen.
No, there's been the only person who's been rumored, who's made the rumor, the connection is John Morosi. And I don't know what's going on, but he is just connecting everyone with Seattle this offseason.
Yeah, it's weird and probably completely wrong.
He's like a Facebook, like he's like a person in the Facebook groups that are like, we got to go after this guy. It's like, what are you talking about? It's not going to happen. That's exactly what he's doing right now. And this guy gets a vote in the awards.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I hate those Facebook groups where they're like, oh, we should really re-sign Julio Rodriguez this offseason. And it's like, you mean the guy that's locked in for another 9 years? What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, right now they want to get him for less money. It's like maybe he'll void his own contract and sign for less money. Like, oh yeah, players love doing that.
And in the MLB, they're all guaranteed contracts, so there's no incentive to take any sort of pay cut. Fuck that.
I should start pulling up my favorite posts from these Facebook groups. We'll make that a segment.
Oh my God, we should. They're so bad. I can't do it, man.
Oh, the trade proposals are my favorite, dude. You should see how much these people still value guys like Dylan Moore. Like Dylan Moore was a centerpiece in a Pete Alonso trade on one of these groups.
Bro, the Mets might do it. That is so dumb. They might do it.
Oh man, I love Facebook.
I'm looking at Mitch Garver's stats right now, and I've changed my mind. I hate the contract.
Oh, no. All right. Should we just start over?
Just look like it from the top.
Just throw it out the damn window.
I went from love to meh to hate so fast. But like, okay, he's got a little bit of pop, 19 home runs, 50 RBIs. He batted 270, but only had 300 plate appearances. He's a 252 career guy. I mean, I don't see the upgrade here personally. He's 32. It's not like it's a high upside sign.
The only thing I think we're going to get is just more professional at-bats out of him, as opposed to just going up and taking 3 daddy hacks and walking back to the dugout.
Yeah, but even like, what did Tom Murphy sign for? I think I would rather Tom Murphy.
And yeah, I don't think Tom Murphy signed for that much.
Let's see. Let's find out right now.
Garver's got a ring, dude. The ring. Actually, he doesn't have it yet.
Okay. Yeah, Tom Murphy, 2-year, $8.25 million.
A year?
No, total.
Oh yeah. Why didn't we just go out and get Murphy?
So we signed Garver for $16 million more across the same length of contract. You can't tell me that Mitch Garver is that much better than Tom Murphy.
Maybe Jerry sees something in his swing that he's like, I can turn this guy into the next JD Martinez or something. once again, like that does happen. You like see these guys sign these big contracts and the GM just like sees something, or one of his coaches is like, we fix this in his swing, he's going to be knocking him out of the park. But then again, I think it's more so just them trying to be like, hey, we're going to have to offer a little more because right now people are kind of turned off to come to this team.
Yeah. That could be a situation where they had to outbid the competition. That's very possible. I don't. They had to have signed him as like a full-time DH, with the expectation of him hitting 270 across a full season, splitting time between DH and catcher. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't like the way this offseason has gone.
Well, speaking of bad offseason going on, this is one, I saw this news story earlier this week. Ryan Divish, beat writer for the Mariners, went on a radio show and he was talking about the potential of trading a starting pitcher. And he says that there's a chance that Castillo's name is now in play.
Wow. I mean, if there was any more obvious trades when it comes to cutting costs, it's got to be that one, right? Like that's just blatant.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is too, is he would probably get a great return because he has a great contract. Yeah, it's our biggest in the rotation, but it's still one of the better contracts in starting pitching.
Yeah.
And the big question is, did we get his best season already out of him as a Mariner?
I mean, best season and a half, probably. I mean, he's not getting any younger. He's got a lot of innings on that arm, so you don't know when he's going to get tired and lose steam. You always want to trade him a year early than a year late. So the rotation, I think, would be fine, but it scares me a little bit to leave it up to like Logan Gilbert and George Kirby to front the rotation at such a young age.
Yeah, that's my worry is these guys, yeah, they've got the talent and stuff, but I don't know if they're quite ready to be the ace. Like maybe next year, if like next offseason they can discuss Castillo, but I think this upcoming year, it's big to have him as just the dude to start it off.
Yeah, I think you need that leader, right? He's got that veteran presence and he's got that experience to, you start sliding in July or August, you lose 3 or 4 in a row. Who's going to be the guy that can just step in and say, I'm not giving up a fucking run today? And all you guys got to do is go push one across the board and we'll get back on a winning streak. It's a veteran thing. It's, and Gilbert and Kirby are not, grossly young. I think it's like 26 and 27 years old. So they should be able to start to make that transition. But I like having at least one veteran presence in the rotation.
Yeah, I would much rather trade from the back part of the rotation, your Bryce Miller, your Brian Wu, one of those guys to bring in a hitter. Castillo, that one. And the other thing is Castillo has got the playoff experience.
Yeah.
A couple times. Like obviously George Kirby showed that he is a stud in the playoffs in that Houston game and shutting down the Blue Jays. We've seen that. Gilbert, he's cold as ice, but the other guys in the back half of that rotation, we don't know that about them. Whereas if you go in with 3 starters that are going to crush it in playoffs, you're fine. You're cruising.
Yeah, and I mean, we even saw it at the end of last year with Miller and Wu, where it was kind of a very up and down. We saw a lot of bright spots, but we also saw a lot of youth and lack of maturity when those games really mattered. Going down the stretch, we didn't have a choice but to roll them out there. And, we probably would have preferred a Robbie Ray or a Marco Gonzalez being healthy in those situations because you want guys that have been there before and can handle that pressure. It's not for everybody. So, getting these guys that have been around a long time would be nice to have it. So I hate the idea of trading Luis Castillo unless we're trading him for a Mookie Betts. I would take a Mookie Betts.
We need an all-star hitter or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't just trade him for the sake of trading him. That's when we know it's like, all right, shut down the podcast for a few years. We'll come back when it's a playoff team. If they trade him for prospects, that's when it's like, all right, this team doesn't want to compete.
Oh, yeah. If they're trading Luis Castillo, they got to get a guy back like a Pete Alonso, in my opinion. A guy that's going to hit 265, 270, and 35 plus home runs for me.
Yeah, we need someone who's going to hit in our top 4.
Yeah.
Which right now, well, actually, hit in most top 4, because hitting in Seattle's top 4 isn't that difficult it's not that exclusive of a club right now.
No, I think Mitch Garver probably just cracked it.
Yeah, Mitch Garver is our number 4 hitter right now, which is concerning.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think I probably go like, fuck, man, I would probably go Julio, JP, Cal, Garver. I think. I hate this whole like new philosophy of putting like power hitters in the one hole to get them as many bats as possible in a game, but it's very clearly leading that way and trending that way. You look at a guy like Shohei Ohtani; he's not your traditional leadoff hitter, and I think Julio Rodriguez would fit a similar mold.
Yeah, but Julio at least can handle his own on the base paths. It's not like an absolute liability where like you get Kyle Schwarber, if he's not hitting a home run, you're not getting much else out of that leadoff spot.
Yeah, that is an interesting one for me for sure. I like it because I like watching Kyle Schwarber try and stretch a double into a single. That's one of my favorite things about him. But yeah, you're right. Julio, Shohei, these guys can play that traditional role on top of being the kind of hitters they are for sure.
Yeah, they're like Julio's a 30-30 guy right now, so he can. The only thing is it would be nice to have a little bit of a higher OBP. He had a good one, but some of his at bats, if he wasn't on, his at bats just looked bad.
Yeah, he's got some swing and miss to him for sure when he's not red hot. But I mean, we also always overlook the fact that the kid's 22 years old. You know, he hasn't even reached his ceiling, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's 22 and has the whole franchise on his shoulders right now.
Yeah. I would love to pick his brain about what that is.
Yeah, whenever he goes up to the dish, he's got everyone, like he's got a lot of pressure on him. So the fact he had the season he did at 22 is still impressive. And if he can, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, especially how his first half of the season went, you know, the only reason he was in the All-Star game was because it was in Seattle. And the second half was night and day in comparison.
Yeah. Yeah. He had the stretch where he had the most hits in a 4-game span ever.
Yeah.
So if he can, if they can just get him another really good hitter, like, I know it's a lot to ask, like, oh, go out and get a superstar. It's a simple formula. But if they can pull that off, that just eases his pressure so much. I think they start getting a lot better, consistent at-bats out of them.
Well, that's the difference, too, between a team like Texas and a team like Seattle right now. You know, Mitch Garver hitting probably 6 or 7 for Texas. Seattle, all of a sudden, we're talking about, do we put him in the 2, 3, or 4 hole? You know, you still got to score runs. We can have all the pitching in the world, but they're not always going to hold teams to, 1, 2, or 3 runs and put in quality starts every single game for 62 game schedule. So
162 years. That's how it feels when you watch them games sometimes.
Dude, it might be 162 years before we see a World Series.
John Stanton will still be the owner of the team.
Fuck, I hope not.
So he's also, speaking of the Seattle ownership, because they got to be happy. Big weekend big week coming up. They've got the outdoor game in Seattle, the outdoor NHL game. Have you watched any of that stuff, any of the festivities behind it?
Nope. I am going to be the
worst. Canadian, eh?
A fucking Canadian, bud. I hate hockey, dude. I don't like it. I'm not a fan. I don't watch it. The only time I would ever consume hockey is when I was given Flames tickets and I wanted to see how many dome beers I could withstand that night. That's it. That's the only reason I would ever partake. And might I add, my record is 5, and I felt horrible the next day.
So a couple of things that have come out of this outdoor game so far is one, they've got this decorative ship in center field, and it's like a broken down ship. And someone's like, they're going to put a shipwreck in Safeco in T-Mobile Park after the offseason, the Mariners bad. They're like, this is a weirdly perfect metaphor.
Yeah, the Mariners are really good at those. Speaking of your King Felix t-shirt you got going on there.
Yeah. They also, They also had the goalie for the Seattle Kraken, Joey Dackord. He got like a special custom mask for this one, and it's got a bunch of Mariner baseball cards, like just legends, right? So you got the classic Ken Griffey Jr. one, but he's also going through them. And this was on NHL's Instagram account. So this wasn't MLB. This is NHL showing this Instagram account, and he's got a baseball card of Cal Rowley's walk-off home run to get them into playoffs. And he's like, and then I got Big Dumper hitting his home run. And I just love the idea of a hockey fan who has no idea, like pays no attention to baseball, watching this video and being like, what did he just call that guy? Wait, this is a cool. Wait, what did he say?
Oh, cool. What? You did send me the mask, and that is pretty cool. I can appreciate good custom art apparel in any sporting and in any sport.
Well, it is fun too, like when the goalies do those outdoor games, because they do try and kind of relate. So if like it's on a college football field or something, they'll make it like themed to that team, to the university. The goalies get to be creative with it, which is always cool. I honestly, I'm a huge hockey fan. I hate watching the outdoor games. I think the quality of hockey just absolutely drops, but I do like looking at the cool goalie masks.
Okay, well, silver linings, I suppose. Have you ever
Seattle? Oh, sorry. I was going to say the Seattle one's going to be different. I'm pretty sure they're going to have the roof up. But it's not even an outdoor game.
I mean, I don't think you could have the roof open, to be honest with you. Wouldn't it melt the ice?
There is a chance, although they've got like so much technology under there, like because they've had it where like they've had sunny days, and they have had to cancel them before because like the sun was too hot on the ice and it melted it.
Well, I was thinking like the rain, like they would be playing in rain.
Oh, that's cool though. Then it turns into playing hockey on like a curling rink. You got all the beads everywhere. That's real outdoor hockey.
Oh, that's like the ODR, the back to the rink to play shinny, right?
Yeah, that's what we were playing yesterday.
I know what's up. Can I just say too, I find it very disrespectful when other sports are played in opposite sport venues. We would never play baseball on a hockey rink. You would never play basketball on a football field. Why are we letting hockey into our baseball stadiums?
Okay, how cool would it be though if they did the same dimensions of the baseball field, just dropped random nets in places?
Okay, I'll tell you what. If it's a diamond, I'm on board. Then I can get behind it.
The other thing is, I feel like with that statement, you are disrespecting the greatest league in sports history, the Arena Football League, and I can't stand for that. Me and my boy Kurt Warner are offended right now.
I got no comeback. I got nothing. I got the fair enough. Fuck. Arena football. I would fucking love to go to an Arena Football League championship game.
Oh, dude, Arena football is like slam ball. It was just outrageous and insane. And then every couple years, they're like, all right, we're going to bring it back, and this time it'll work. And then someone gets like permanently injured, and they're like, oh, yeah, that's why it didn't work.
We didn't do this. I think slam ball is coming back, though.
Oh, yeah, it is. It is. I'm pumped,
right?
dude. I wish it were open. We could put a team together. You and me on a slam ball team, dude, we could double bounce. We could get like 30 feet dunks.
Bro, who would set people over the fucking cage?
That's just how we would play defense, is just double bounce someone all the way into the stand.
Fucking send them flying. After 20-year hiatus, ahead of the 2023 season, it's time to learn more about one-of-a-kind hybrid sport. Maybe it's happening right now, and it's not working out so well. Okay.
We'll relate this to the Mariners. Which Mariners are on your slam ball team?
Oh, Julio for sure. Julio's an athletic specimen. There's no way.
Do you think Julio can dunk?
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
You're going to tell me that athlete can't dunk?
I don't know. Some people can't jump, man.
No, he robs home runs. He can slam dunk for sure. He's fine. That's crazy talk.
I watched Mike Trout rob home runs. He can't dunk.
Mike Trout can't dunk?
Actually, maybe he can. Okay, that might have been racist of me.
I was like, is it because he's white?
I truly didn't know. I said it and I was like, maybe he can actually.
Just one of the best athletes, not just in baseball, but ever. And he's like, nope, can't touch the rim. Fuck that
Can't
guy.
do it. Can't do it. Don't wanna.
You got to be not white to be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, and he's not small, so he probably could dunk.
Oh, he's huge. Julio for sure. I would go with Cal Raleigh as the enforcer for sure.
Cal under the post.
Cal under the post, and probably JP. I think.
He's like you got the athletic guys. You got to go with them.
I think you get 3, right? Or is it more?
I don't know, man. I say it like I'm a big fan. I don't know if it's 3-on-3 or 5-on-5.
Okay, if I had to pick 2 more, I would pick Kirby. His tall, lanky. He could be that like European skinny post. And then I think you got to go with Munoz just because, he could throw a basketball through you if you fuck around.
All right. I feel like
Looney Tunes.
I agree with most of them, but I feel like Logan Gilbert can drop some threes.
Oh, I could see that.
He seems like a dude who'll just like sit off to the side, just on the arc and just sinking 3-pointers, just messing around.
Yeah, Logan Gilbert is Kyle Korver. I'm convinced. That's facts. Switching from Mariners news, how do you feel about the super team out in the West Coast?
Real quick, there was no point where that we were switching from Mariners news. That was not.
Okay, let me tell you what happened. I had one beer and one edible, and the one beer triggered the one edible, and now I'm like, we're just rolling with it.
The Mariners slam ball team. This is news.
Maybe if they would do something. This was a Dodgers podcast. We could talk for days about.
Oh God, it is ridiculous what they're doing, and at the same time, on the one hand, like it is annoying, but I love it's going to be so satisfying to watch them lose.
Oh, I cannot wait for the 87 win Philadelphia Phillies to knock them out of the playoffs again.
Yeah, with Kyle Schwarber hitting leadoff and just going against all the rules. And they're like, yeah, we got the best players available. And they're like, we got a big dude hitting bombs out of the leadoff spot, and they win.
And it's 100% because of Callum Scott's Dancing on My Own. That's it. It's the song. It's the vibe. It's the fans of Philadelphia. And they're going to show the West Coast what's up.
Yeah, the Dodgers, they've just been annoying this year.
It is annoying at this point.
But the thing is, too, though, is the Glasnow thing, that was a trade. So you can't even really blame them because everyone else had the same opportunity to go out and get Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah. Yeah, Tampa's going to take the best offer. They're obviously going to want to send him to the National League, so that plays a little bit of a factor. But they're going to take the best offer in their best interest. And the Dodgers are going to give them the best package, then why wouldn't they take that, And so you add a guy like Shohei Ohtani and a Tyler Glasnow and a Yoshi Yamamoto, I think. I hope I didn't fuck that up. You already had some problematic behaviors between you and Mike Trout, so we'll call it even. If I did get that wrong.
Hey, this was white on white crime. That's fine.
But brown on Asian isn't all right.
Yeah. Mike Trout's from Jersey, dude. That guy gets bullied by his home state.
He probably does. He's lucky he's an Eagles fan because or else he'd get fucking roasted. No, you make a lot of good points, and I think it'll be very satisfying to see them lose. And I hope a team like Atlanta, I don't know what the difference is between Atlanta and the Dodgers, but I respect and like the Braves organization so much more than the Dodgers.
And it's funny too because it's a lot of the Dodgers, what they did, they still got some great homegrown talent. They didn't go out. They didn't go with the early 2000s Yankees strategy of just having guys and getting lucky with a prospect. They've got some phenomenal lifers in guys like Walker Buehler, and Clayton Kershaw. I can't believe I said Walker Buehler before Kershaw. But, you know, you look at that, they've done a great job and they've still got one of the best prospect pools. So what they're doing is just unheard of right now.
Yeah. And I mean, they have all assets are all avenues to get better. Like there's nothing prohibiting them from getting better. Whereas the Mariners are, we got to keep the farm system, or, we got to do this, or, we didn't get the TV contracts and now we can't afford to go out and be in the 230 million upper echelon teams like these other guys are, you know, the Braves and the Dodgers and the Yankees and the Blue Jays and these top spending teams. There's no reason that the Seattle market is so much smaller than these teams that they can't do that. You know, that's just,
we've stressed it before, 10th highest attendance in the league the other year, most profitable team in the league in 2022. Like these guys have so much money. They're just being cheap and they're like, oh, well, spending money doesn't automatically mean you win. It's like, well, yeah, if you're giving out bad contracts, but you look at like Texas, they went out and signed Semien and Seager. Like they signed studs. Like you can do that. You got to shell out the money to get those guys still.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, eventually those contracts are probably going to suck on the books. They're not going to get what they need out of those players. But they won a World Series. So, you know, now anything after this point for the length of those contracts is just gravy.
Yeah. Flags fly forever.
Flags fly forever, right? So you get one, ain't no harm. Even a team like Philadelphia, who hasn't gone one since signing Harper, I mean, they've always been there. They've always been that close. And you're always competitive. You're always playing late into October. So, you know, maybe you didn't get the ultimate goal, but you're still there and you're still within reach. So,
and the fans are happy. Like they had 2 great postseasons in a row. Like, yeah, they didn't make it to the World Series last year, but it was a fun ride up until then.
Yeah, nobody is feeling Philly fans are crazy, but so maybe they are. But I don't think Philly fans are feeling the same way as Mariners fans right now.
Yeah. I'm sure they would hear us talking and be like, "Oh man, how cool would it be to go to the championship series?" And they're like, "Shut up."
Yeah, and that's the difference between winning culture and losing culture. And the Mariners historically have losing culture, loser energy.
Yeah, our accomplishment of the last time is we put up a real tough challenge for the Astros on their way to a World Series.
Right.
We almost beat them in a game.
We were competitive in the divisional rounds.
We had a lead twice.
Oh, fucking terrible. Terrible, man. Any final thoughts?
No, all I can say is hopefully we got another signing so we have some more to talk about next go around. Because I have shelled out all of my slam ball knowledge. So I'm going to have to go for some more obscure sports.
I was going to say, I don't know how much slam ball material we can do on this podcast.
We're going to have to watch.
Do you ever see the meme where it's like a stick man with a stick poking something at the ground? It's like,
to do something?
Do something.
Yeah, that's how I've been feeling for so long. In the Garver thing, I'm like, okay, first domino to fall. Let's go. No.
And I truly, genuinely believe that could be it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I would not be surprised. And then they'll make like a kind of bullshit midsummer trade deadline move like they did last year with Seawald.
Bring in, right now, half of our lineup is just platoon guys.
Go sign Hader and hope you never give up a run. That's all I got at this point.
The Kansas City Royals strategy. It worked for them that one time.
Hey, it is possible.
All right, but I got no final thoughts after that. What about you?
Here's hoping we get some very exciting things in the new year. If you're listening, watching, thank you so much. Happy New Year. Be safe. Don't drink and drive. Stay home. Don't spend $100 on tickets to get into a bar. And hopefully the new year brings happy news and wins and tidings from the Mariners organization.
All right. Should we end it there? Should we call that? Did you freeze on me?
Sorry, I thought you were going to close it out.
No, I got nothing. I thought you were taking it. I thought you were taking it off.
No, I should have. Based off the monologue, that was on me. That was for sure. I stopped and then I was like, oh yeah, that's not how this works. I should have just wrapped it.
We'll edit it out. Hold on. Thank you so much for listening. Have yourself a great week. I will hope to see you next time.
And the best part is it's not going to get edited out.
Raw footage, baby.
Bye.